there's nothing like cracking that cellophane, pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. The Bodfather.
Man, this stuff rocks.
This is Emilio Menze from Dark Ride, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. The Bodfather. As always, I bring you guys awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome back vocalist, guitarist, and bassist, Emilio Menze of Dark Ride. And Emilio is formerly of the Stellar Corpses, Mr. Monster, and Plan 9. Dark Ride has released their self-titled EP and is out right now. So, folks, you want to get out and pick this up because I'm very, very impressed with this EP, which when I first heard it, when Emilio sent it to me, after listening to it, I was floored. And I'm not saying it just because he's on here. I'm just saying it because it's the God's honest truth. It was a very good EP, and they knocked it out of the ballpark. And that's just my opinion, but it's very, very good. So, Emilio, man, what's going on? And welcome back to the show again.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back, and thank you for such a warm welcome, and I'm so glad you like the EP, man. Thanks, John.
Yeah, not a problem whatsoever. It's like I was telling you, man, this EP, it's got peaks and valleys, and there's stories within a story. Like I said, if that makes sense, because these songs, not only do they take you on the story, but you can escape with these songs, and there's different features in these songs.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's kind of exactly what I was going for. I really took my time on this and put my heart into it. And yeah, thank you. I'm glad you feel that way, man.
So how have you been doing, and what have you been up to during the pandemic, other than talking and promoting this debut self-titled EP? Was there anything, man, that you did that kind of took you by surprise that you were actually doing that maybe you thought you wouldn't?
Gosh, it has been tough, and it has been a challenge because I am a very social person. I love to get out. To keep my sanity, every day I exercise. Every day I go for a walk, either at the beach or the forest or somewhere outside that's nice, or I'll just do a long drive. Most of my time is Dark Ride stuff, either writing new songs or coming with new merchandise, just stuff like that. But it's really tough right now, and to everyone listening, it's so important to keep your mental health up during all of this and take care of yourself.
So let's talk about this a little bit more since we've been in the pandemic and you've been able to actually just focus on Dark Ride. How many songs are you setting on possibly that didn't get put on this EP?
Let me put it this way. I always kind of keep things close to the vest. I've always got secrets and tricks up my sleeve. So I don't give away a lot of my plans. I don't really like talking about things till they're happening. But I will say this, that Dark Ride is not a band that's going to have big gaps between releases.
That's what I like to hear. That's exactly what I like to hear.
Sorry, I can't give you any more, but I just, kind of my MO to keep things a secret.
So after Stellar Corpses, how much was it eating at you to start something new? Or did you just need a break personally for a bit to recharge to see where you wanted to go possibly?
That's a good question. Once I departed Stellar Corpses, it was not on, it was on unceremonious terms, I'll put it that way, not amicable. And I was really angry and really frustrated. Luckily, I got to hit the road with my friend Argyle Goolsby for an awesome tour, and that helped a lot and kind of helped me feel like me again. But after that ended, I immediately started working on the Dark Ride EP. And some of these songs I've kind of had bouncing around in my head forever. There were even a couple of them were supposed to be Stellar Corpses songs that I'd written for the band that they weren't completely done. So I really used Dark Ride as a kind of catharsis in a way for me to heal and just feel like myself again, kind of get my mojo back. And it's been wonderful in that sense.
Were you guys a little nervous at all releasing this EP right now during this crazy pandemic, or did you want to get something out there to the masses to say, hey, look, I haven't went away nowhere. We're still here full force?
Again, good question. It was kind of tough because a lot of my friends and like in my close circle and my producers who were helping me, one idea was, maybe you should wait till you can actually tour or wait till you can actually play a gig to put this out. But the thing is, everything is so unpredictable right now with COVID that, I didn't want to be waiting for years. And I also felt like people need new music right now. They need new things to be excited about and to help them get through their day. So I kind of thought it was the right thing to do to release the music video and the EP, in the fall. And
you're correct, man. There's so many people that's hurting right now. They need something to give them some inspiration to break away for a while. And music's been that way for years. It's been therapy for anybody, for any situation that they're going through.
Oh, absolutely. Myself included, every single day. Absolutely, man.
How difficult is this for a local band or not a huge national band? You know what I'm saying? How difficult is this for those types of musicians right now who are depending on that? Did you ever think that, man, I might have to do something else until if everything opens back up?
Well, yeah, and it's tough, man, because like my day job that I've had for years now is I work for a local chain of gyms in Santa Cruz, and gyms were one of the first things that were closed from the pandemic. It's not safe to be indoors with a bunch of other people, obviously. So that was kind of what I would do to pay rent and stuff besides money I'd make from the band. So I think it's really tough. It's really tough for all independent artists right now, and it's especially tough that musicians like myself aren't getting to play concerts, because that's another form of therapy, and it's so much fun, and it's how we make a living. If it weren't for the pandemic, I would have already been on tour with Dark Ride. I would have already been playing gigs. So yeah, man, it's a real bitch. I'll put it that way.
What's impressed or excited you the most about making the self-titled EP, if anything?
You know what, man? Like, I'd never recorded lead vocals for a band. Like, I fronted a Misfits cover band where I was singing, but I never was really in a band that I was the front man and like actual singing like my original songs. And I've also never been in a band where it's completely mine. Like, I don't like the term solo project, but this is like my solo gig. It's like my passion project. And, there's always that part of me that thinks like, oh, like maybe I'm not going to be able to do this. Because when you're recording lead vocals, you're so vulnerable and under a microscope, and it's really tough. But once we were rolling, I think the first song I did vocals on was My Best Friend's Exorcism, I think. And once we started doing the harmonies on the verses, I was like, oh, this is something I could do, and this is something that was totally worth the risk. So just proving to myself that I could do the lead vocal thing was pretty exciting to me and felt good, man.
So how much did this take you out of your comfort zone? Did this push you out of that comfort zone to say, oh, God, what am I doing?
Oh, big time. Many, many, many times, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's really important to do that, to do things that test you and get you out of your comfort zone and help you grow and help you be more satisfied at the end of the day with what you're doing. But yeah, man, it was I feel way better about it now, but it was definitely tough, and there's times where I was dragging myself to the studio, just being like, I have to do this, I have to make this happen no matter what. That's another thing. I just kind of had the mindset is like, I have to do this and put this out no matter what, even if it quote unquote like sucks or people don't like it. I'm doing this for me and for like my livelihood and to express myself. And if people dig it, fantastic, that's icing on the cake. But I'm doing this. I had to prove it to myself.
Plus, you know where to build from if it does kind of fail. I mean, there's always that chance you got to take, and it's cool that you took this chance, because it's not easy coming from like in the back to vocals and stuff and being the main guy. That's a scary thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. It was. And, I worked really hard at it. I really worked at developing my voice, building stamina, and building range. I mean, I'd practice pretty much every day in my car late at night. Where I live with my roommates, it's not possible. It would be too loud. But it was a kind of a goal I had. And, yeah, it felt good once I was in the studio, not getting winded or not my voice not cracking. It was pretty satisfying, man.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the EP? I know it must change every time that you listen to it. I know these are your babies, being your first project like this, but do you have any that stick out personally, maybe?
I'm pretty fond of Infernally Yours. I think that came out really good, and I think the chorus is really powerful. The way that song came about is my former bandmate from Stellar Corpses, Randy Moore, who played lead guitar. He's killer. He's basically like the John 5 of punk rock guitar. Like he could do everything. He wrote the instrumental to Infernally Yours and gave it to me as a gift. And I wrote all the lyrics and melodies, and I think that I don't know, I just think it rocks. I like them all, but that one recently has been sticking out to me.
Was there a song on this EP that you guys are working on that totally ended up sounding different than the way it was brought in? Did it take like a 360-degree turn on you?
I wouldn't say a 360-degree turn, but on the intro track, definitely when my friend Alexa came and added the female vocals, I knew I wanted some female kind of choir vocals, like it's something that would be in a Danny Elfman soundtrack for like a Tim Burton movie. I knew I wanted something like that, but what she did was so powerful and so much cooler than what I had in mind that it gave the song and the intro a completely new life. So I think that was maybe the biggest difference, I think.
The collaboration on this EP, do you see that you guys are musically growing as Dark Ride with this band for the future?
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely hope so. Like my goal right now is with every release just to make it better and better and better. I don't go backwards on anything in my life. I have to move forward and kick ass and make progress. The way Dark Ride works is I don't necessarily have set band members. I have any of my friends who are musicians and who want to be there and who are reliable are welcome to be in my band for tours and gigs. But when it comes to recording, it's pretty much me and my two producers and the same drummer. His name's Henry. And the producers are Randy Moore and Ulov, who are awesome friends of mine who have helped a lot. But besides that, I'm writing all the songs and doing all the material, pushing everything forward. I hope so. I hope we're moving forward and growing and keeping things interesting.
Now, you mentioned this EP was produced by your bandmate Randy Moore and plus Olaf, and I cannot pronounce his last name, so you go for it.
It's Ulov Tabatabai.
Working with these guys, and then plus I know Randy's your bandmate, but let's talk about Olaf as a producer and plus Randy as a producer versus your bandmate. Are they differently as producers versus Randy as your bandmate?
Gosh, both of those guys are so full of knowledge and not just with punk rock, just with music in general. And we have this joke that I made up. I'm kind of poking fun at myself, but the two of them and my drummer are song eagles because they kick so much ass. They're soaring through the air like eagles, and I'm like a song pigeon with a little gum in my wing, but I can kind of fly a little bit. So they let me fly with them a little bit. But I don't know how different it would be if they were bandmates. I would certainly like them to be involved in the gigs and the tour if they're possible. The thing is, they're both very in demand too, and the drummer too. All three of those guys are just really in demand musicians. Like Ulov, before the pandemic, was on tour doing Machine Head live sound, and Randy Moore is just always in the studio, always doing gigs, and same with Henry. So I mean, we have a good dynamic because they're not afraid to tell me if they disagree with one of my ideas or something doesn't sound right, which is great. You don't want to be surrounded by yes men.
Who did the artwork for this EP, man? Because it's pretty badass, actually.
Oh, thank you. The woman in the skeleton?
Yes.
Yeah, my friend, her name is Brittany Costanzo. She's a local painter here in Santa Cruz, but I've actually known her since the third grade. We've gone to school together forever, and we were both kind of growing up, kind of always competing artists against each other. I'm an artist too, but she is just on a whole other level now, and that's what she does for a living. And yeah, Brittany Costanzo, she's killer. She did a bunch of stuff for Stellar Corpses too when I was still in that band.
Everything that I see coming out from these punk bands, man, these horror bands, is their artwork is just so beyond than what's out there right now. Now, there's a lot of good stuff that's out there right now, but these take it to another level, in my opinion. And that's just me. I like how they put their stuff out. Yeah, man. I agree. And to be honest, John, I always tell my friends who are just starting out in bands or whatever to not be afraid to invest money in the artwork and your product and your merchandise. You want your fans to be like, oh, that is cool. You want to be proud of it. What do you hope everyone takes away, or message you hope they hear while listening to any of Dark Ride's music in general, Emilio? What do you hope they get from once they pop that CD in or listen to it on Spotify or somewhere? A couple things. I hope that the songs get stuck in their head and they're catchy where they're humming it the rest of the day, the choruses. But I hope they're inspired. I hope it makes them feel good.
And I do, like you mentioned earlier, I do hope it's an escape for people. Absolutely, man.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you right now that Dark Ride gets support from, or Dark Ride's music is getting played in possibly?
It's kind of funny. I did my very first interview for Dark Ride for a Croatian magazine, and I thought that was pretty cool. So maybe Croatia, but yeah, I've gotten a good amount of support from Germany too, definitely. So maybe Germany or Croatia.
I knew you grew up with a lot of music in your home and a lot of albums and CDs, stuff like that, but did you have a go-to album or maybe just a go-to song when you were younger that affected you as far as giving you inspiration or just time alone to escape with everything, man? Was there any music just allowed you to take that edge off possibly?
Yeah, I always liked 50s stuff, and especially the song Earth Angel, and still do. Yeah, that's kind of like one of the songs that I'd like to play at my wedding if I ever get married.
I'll sing it.
I would love that.
I'll do it over Zoom or something. Hell yeah.
I would love that. But yeah, man, that kind of like real catchy 50s stuff was always cool to me before I got into like bands and punk and metal and stuff.
Are you kind of taking away that horror punk still to this day is holding on its own? To think about what Blitzkid's done, I mean, it just seems like it's not going away. It's still strong.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to the musicians and bands in the genre who have worked hard, not just getting out there and playing, but sharpening the crafts and making the best songs they can. I think it's great. I think it's really cool. It's a genre I've believed in since I was a freshman in high school, and I was really exposed to it. And it's also a genre I feel that sometimes gets a lot of shit or gets made fun of or gets discredited. But you look at bands like Blitzkid and like Calabrese, and it's just like, how could you deny that, those bands are awesome and have lasted the test of time, and I love them. And I see a lot of power, and I also see a lot of potential for the genre too. Horror rock, horror punk, whatever you want to call it. I want to kind of take it and expand it a bit and make it a little more, so it's more common that you see bands like us at like punk festivals, just straight up punk shows.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to see a straight up punk festival for sure. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you, buddy. It'd be great.
Folks, you want to get out and pick up Dark Ride's debut EP that's out right now, so get out and pick that up. So, Emilio, how can folks pick this up, buy some merchandise, all this good stuff, and even tour dates when this all gets back to normal? How can they do that, sir?
So we're on every streaming platform, every social media platform, at Dark Ride SC. SC for Santa Cruz, obviously, where I live. And on all of those pages, there's my link tree that has links to everything. My YouTube channel, my merchandise, everything. Apple Music, Spotify, you name it. And it's funny, speaking of which, tomorrow, the first, I think, 100 vinyl records will be showing up at my house. So I'm very excited. And they've already done really well for the pre-order, so couldn't be happier. They're like a colored, translucent electric blue vinyl. It's gonna kick ass.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, good sir. Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show as always?
Sure. This is Emilio Menze from Dark Ride, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Hour Podcast. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, everything that we're associated with. And please subscribe to our YouTube page because we are going to be giving stuff away at every tier that we get to. So we're almost at 500. Once we get 500, we'll be giving stickers, shirts, everything away. But we do have a lot of good secrets that we're going to be giving away, some huge autograph stuff. So you want to do that. Also, get out and check out Dark Ride's EP. It's their debut EP. You will not be disappointed. Trust me. I listened to it. I liked it. I dug it. And I'm not saying that just because Emilio's on here. It's some good stuff. So check that out, folks, and give them some support.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. It's great to be back.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.